My great-grandfather, Judge John Stock Hunter, was lived in Haynesville, Alabama, and my grandmother, Sarah Hunter, was born in Haynesville in 1848, and the home where she was born still is in Haynesville in good shape. And she married Robert White Smith, who was my grandfather. I was married Thomas Mudd in 1918, and I had a daughter, Alice Reese, who was born in Selma, Alabama. And I have two other daughters, Sarah Hunter, and also Lee Frazier, Patricia Lee. Let's see. Both of my grandmothers died before I was born, both sides of the family. And I hate to stop. And I spent a great deal of my childhood in summers and various times in Lansborough with my grandfather, William McCurdy. And one Christmas I remember especially, he brought me he raised horses in Kentucky, and he brought me home a Shetland pony named Fred. And I also had a cart and a saddle. Kept the pony lived till way after I was married, a long time, and was given to my cousin of mine in Lansborough after that. One Christmas I remember I was spending in Lansborough. Why I did it, I do not know. I went to the window and had a candle in my hand and caught the shades on fire, caught the curtains on fire. It was great excitement in the country, putting the fire out, as they had no fire engines or anything to put out a fire. My children, when Tom Frazier was born, my youngest grandchild, I was very upset about that because my daughter already had a good many children, and I never thought she'd have another one. When she told me, I was so upset. Living about 5 blocks from her house, I walked home and never said a word. But John has certainly been a joy and a pleasure to me ever since. All of my grandchildren now, except one, are happily married to lovely young men. And we have had, this past winter we have had, starting first of December, no, 1st of January, up until this present date, which is December of the same year, I have had 6 weddings in the family. Grandchildren, I have 6 grandchildren married, and which I hope are very happily married now. What else?
Just each individual grandchild mentioned something and where you were or something about them.
Well, my oldest granddaughter was married in Lansborough at her daughter's home down there. She was married in the 1st of January, and 2 months after that, my sister was married in Lansborough also. And then Nim Frazier, who is my grandson, who is now in the army in Germany, was married. And then after that, a month or 2 after that, Margaret Frazier was married to Robert Proctor. And then also my Sarah Hunter granddaughter, who lives in Richmond, Virginia, was married, and the family went up to the wedding. I did not go. And then Hunter, Sarah Hunter Frazier was married. She is the last one to get married, which was just about 2 months ago. And John Frazier is the only Frazier left that is not married. He goes to the Citadel and will graduate next year and intends to go into the National Guard after that for 3 years. And his brother, as I just mentioned before, is stationed in Germany now, and he will return to Montgomery in May of this year and go into business with his father, Rod Frazier, who's in the security business. What else I should say?
Tom and Cheryl and their grandchildren, are they children?
Oh yeah, Tom Frazier was married, and he has 2 children. Tom, 2 little girls, Lila Martin, and who is now 14 months old, and she was in the wedding recently at St. John's Church of her aunt, Hunter Frazier. And he also has a little boy named Thomas Martin Frazier, who is 14 months old. He was very noisy at the wedding, having on new shoes which he did not know, and his father had to take him out.
Tell me a funny story about Lee.
Lee Frazier.
Mm-hmm. Little girl or...
Lee always bad. She never knew me till she was about 3 years old, because I had an excellent servant who stayed in the room with her, but it really was not quite that bad. When Lee was born, I had a servant who stayed day and night. She got up one day a week, one afternoon a week, and one afternoon after she was gone, I was bathing her, and the water was so hot that I thought I was going to burn her up, but I didn't. Thank goodness that happened too.
Mm.
What else do you want to talk about?
Okay.
My oldest granddaughter, Sarah, has invited me to have dinner with her in Montgomery, Alabama, which is about 4 or 5 blocks from me. And that afternoon, that night, I'm having dinner with my daughter Lee Frazier for Christmas, so I'll have 2 Christmas dinners, which I do not need to eat twice in one day, I assure you, but I will enjoy each one of them. And Sarah's youngest son, who goes to Yale and graduates this year, has had a wonderful opportunity to study Chinese, which I thought he was very foolish to do, but anyway, he asked to go, and he was going to be sent to Hong Kong for 2 years, teaching English over there. We're more than delighted that he won't be a burden to his mother, because he wanted to go to graduate school in California. And her son, oldest son, is at Vanderbilt studying law. This is her place, law. And Alice, my oldest granddaughter, is living in, has a wonderful husband and has 3 children. Alice and also Jess. And I hope this Christmas will be wonderful for each and every one of us. We'll always remember it. That is my Christmas wish to each one of us. How long did I take?